What's up, you beautiful collectors and action figure fans? It's the one and only Optibotimus coming at you with another video review. And on today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at the new Transformers Titans Return Leader Class Decepticon Overlord and Dreadnought. I know a lot of people have really been looking forward to this figure since we got Sky Shadow, because Overlord here is basically a retool and repaint of that figure. And this guy looks absolutely terrific. Now, truth be told, I never really got into a lot of the Japanese animation from Transformers. And I believe this one was from Master Force, and that was definitely not something I was interested in. The Headmaster series I could do, but this just... I never got into it. So I don't have a lot of attachment to really either this or Sky Shadow, but I can still appreciate a good looking toy. For the package, you can see you got that nice Transformers text along the side with the Generations logo, and then you got Dreadnought that separates from Overlord. You can see that he transforms in 4 modes, and then you got the open window that fully showcases the figure and some of his accessories. On the side of the box here, you got more of an extended image of that kind of picture that we have on the front. This side here just has the Decepticon logo. On the back here, you got various figures that are also currently available, and then it shows his 4 different modes: his robot, tank, battle station, jet. I mean, this guy's really just a powerhouse in of himself. And the top here says that Decepticon Overlord is a dark force of doom and destruction. He is part of an ultra-elite Decepticon strike team, the Phase Sixers. Their mission: annihilate civilization so worlds are ready for Decepticon conquest. Titan Master Dreadnought gives him an ion imploder fire blast that erases matter from existence. That absolutely sounds like a ridiculously strong weapon. Now again, I have no idea what Phase Sixers are. I'm sure you guys do, but it's just not something that I really paid attention to. I think that's something from the comics, to be honest. But for the packaging on this guy, that's about it. So without further ado, let's get him out here and see how cool he actually is. Alright guys, so here we have Overlord open up out of its packaging, and obviously in his 2 separate vehicle modes. And much like all Titans Return figures, he does come with his nice collector card. You got that cool image there with the name Decepticon Overlord Titans Return. You come around here to the back, and you can see the power that Overlord has and how it extends with Dreadnought. The most impressive being the actual fire blast that goes all the way from a 10 to a 20. And that's actually fairly impressive just in of itself. But here he is. Now, if you had the original G1 toy, this was something you were very familiar with. And as I talked about in my review of Sky Shadow, this always was the intended purpose of that mold. And while I liked Sky Shadow, I just felt like this would be a better use, and it definitely is. Now, starting off first with this tank, as you can see, color-wise is very similar to the original G1 toy for Overlord, and it looks nice. Now, for comparison to the Sky Shadow one, this is identical. They didn't really change anything that I can see at all, except for maybe the crotch piece. Everything else, though, from the legs to the thighs to the tank treads to the armor on the outside to the little opening cockpit all the way down to the gun, are all identical. But it still does look pretty nice nonetheless. I do like the little bit smaller Decepticon logos that are there. They're crooked. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, they're crooked, which that drives me nuts that they do it. I mean, this one also had them, I mean, like, that's all over the place. That's one thing that drives me nuts. I don't mind Hasbro giving us stickers, just don't put them on them. Let us do it. You had no problem with us doing it in the 80s. I would venture to guess that a lot of us that played with these in the 80s that put stickers on them, you know, are like my age now. We could probably put stickers on still, so let us do it. You have the little cannon here that can still remove. Why you would want to do that, I have no idea. But you also do have the opening cockpit. Now I'm just going to bring in, this is Grimlock, because I have Dreadnought actually inside the jet sort of thing. You can then again take that, put that in there, and you got a little kind of a cockpit thing for him, which is cool. I like it. Now, the jet is radically different. Everything on here, well, I just kind of detached this. Well, he has this little drone thing here, if you remember. So removing that, the jet for Overlord is completely new. Other than maybe like the mechanics and like possibly joints, everything else on this guy has been completely redone. Even the fists are completely redone, and that is truly spectacular. I didn't anticipate that much of a difference, but they really did separate this guy from this guy. And you can see there is a pretty decent size difference here as well. I mean, this piece right here actually detaches and can be reattached. Kind of similarly to this, you have like a little drone sort of thing. You can pull this apart and detach this. You can't really do anything with this, and then you can also do this. I thought I saw somewhere that you can use this as a chest armor or something. I'm gonna have to look into that more, but you can separate that and you can have a little flying drone jet as well. You know, personal preference, but all of this, it just amazes me. And then this just clips right back in. Just amazes me how radically different these two jets are. I'm just completely blown away. Maybe I'm trying to look at, no, even this is molded differently. I mean, like that top section here is molded different. The little front sections look similar, but the top of it is remolded. So I don't know necessarily how much of that is the same, but just so wicked awesome how they were able to change so much of this guy. Now, as I said, I have Dreadnought hanging out in here. Pull this little guy out like so, and again, very similar to all the other, you know, Titan Master figures. He does have some nice paint though. You got some kind of teal on the head here, and then you got some yellow for the face, but you got the arms that articulate forward and back. You got the hips, you got the knees that are attached. You can get a little sitting pose for him, but he transforms by just rotating the feet or the legs around, and get that there. And there you have the head for Overlord. Taking a closer look at that, and you got a pretty decent head sculpt there. You got some nice silver paint for his face, some red highlights there for his eyes. Good sculpting through the entire thing, and obviously I'll show you how to plug that in. Now, much like Sky Shadow, you don't actually have to take this off to transform them, but you can. Now, in addition to that, the package did show that he has a total of 4 modes. These count as 2. He also does have that battle station mode, which, much like obviously Sky Shadow, it just kind of combines these two pieces. And then pull this out and you kind of fiddle with all this stuff. So we're going to rotate this around. No, something like that. No, maybe rotate that around and then bring that up. Then again, yeah, something like this. Fold this little piece out just like that. We're just going to set that kind of out to the side. Then you come to this guy, kind of leave all this just like so. You can leave this down like that, or the little piece down like that. Take this, you want to unhook these. They kind of get in there fairly decent. There we go. And then swivel this back and take this and hinge this up and forward just like that. You can, let's see, keep that there. Okay, and come around here, detach that. There we go. You can then take this. I guess I should have just left this like that, something like that. There we go. And you plug this in. I'm just going by quickly because it is basically, you know, the exact same kind of thing that we got previously, but let's see, hinge that up like that. There you go. Bring that down, collapse that down into place, and then this you want to kind of lock in there. Then you actually take this entire top section, split this or separate that, and then you rotate that around and then reconnect it inside there. Kind of straighten that. Then this little piece, this can be a little bit tricky to get out. Fold that out and then fold this section down with a fingernail. Maybe I'll go with this side because it's a little bit easier to go like that and then push that. There we go. Push that down. Just like that. And then kind of straighten this a little. You can take this gun, put this here in the middle, just like so. You can take Dreadnought and you can have them stand right up here, like so. Now, the instructions don't really, well, they kind of touch on this. You can rotate this around. You can do that really on both sides. It's, again, personal preference, just like how it was with Sky Shadow. If you want to have that rotated around to add a little extra kind of base thing, you can. You have all these other little ports on them. You can put him there. And you can take this guy. I just got a whole bunch of my little Titan Master figures. Set that there. You can then take this. You can put him there. No, maybe. Let's see. Give a little twist. So, I mean, you can armor this guy up pretty decently, but theirs is little base mode. It is a little bit different, obviously, looking than what Sky Shadows is. Again, it's an homage to the way that the original figure had this battle station kind of mode. And then you got these little bits right here that can attach to Tripticon if you so desire. But I mean, really, it's nothing overly spectacular. I mean, it's cool, and that was probably the main, I guess, alt mode when he originally was a G1 toy. It doesn't bother me. I don't really care that much for it. But when you have them like this, you have a lot of everything already done that you need to for the robot mode. So we're going to rotate that back around. Make sure you clip that all the way in. Fold this forward, and you can hinge this up and then tuck this down. Fold that back like that. Do that on this side as well. Hinge that up. Fold that back just like so. Bring this entire thing down, and then you spin these legs around. Do that on both of these sides. So straighten these out. Does that kind of lock in? I feel like that should lock in, and I don't think it does. Come on here to the back. Take these, hinge these back up and into place, just like so. Kind of angle up so you guys can see. Now, you can take this bit right here. Obviously, you can remove it if you want, and you can really use this as a shield. I'll show how to do that here in a second. Take this entire section, hinge this back and down, just sits there. Come around here to the front, collapse or detach these from the side, extend these out. You got the fist. Rotate that out. You can do whatever you want with these little wings. You can fold those all over the place. Again, your toy, do what you want with it. Fold this out. Rotate his little fists out. Kind of straighten out his legs. Spin his head around like so. Then you need to lift this piece up. Where'd it go? Here we go. And this is where we're saying you can actually transform this guy without taking it out. Put that in there and then close that. You can leave it just like so if you really wanted to transform him without taking the head out. So I know some people don't like the whole headmaster gimmick and things of that nature, but you can transform him without detaching his head. But when you're done, there you have Onslaught in his robot mode. Yeah, I call them Onslaught because my brain's messed up. But here you have them, and again, really very cool looking and a nice update and homage to that original toy. And really in more ways than one. As you can see, color-wise, he does have that, more toy accurate look. The Takara one will be more animation accurate, which I do like. I really do appreciate the fact that Hasbro and Takara work together to give us, those two different types of looks. Now, for the completed look, you can take this. Now, like I was saying, this little piece right here is kind of I'll be honest, a bit of a pain in the butt to get this little section out. So you have to rotate this, and you pull out this little post right here, and you can take this and you can plug that in there and create like a shield form I guess you can do that. You can also take this, tuck that back and away, and you have this little rectangular post right here that fits into his chest. So you can take this and you can put that there to kind of bulk out his chest some. I guess maybe that's why they have you being able to remove this so it doesn't go all the way down. But I don't know then what you do with this piece. But I mean, that does look a little bit better. But that post's in there. Why? I don't exactly know. I don't know if that has something to do with anything that Overlord did in the cartoon or in the comics or anything like that, because I never really paid much attention to him, and it was never a toy that I had growing up. So I don't know why you would do that. For me, I'm just going to come around here to the back, and I'm going to just plug this back in here, just like so. It stays in there fairly secured, and you just put it down like that. Gives him a little bit of a backpack, but that, if I remember again right, that's what the G1 toy had. So there you have him. Now, he is a leader size figure, so for a comparison, here he is next to a deluxe, and he's a deluxe figure. Here you have Trigger Happy. So you can see there's a big size difference here. This guy's pretty big. And that works because he should be massive like this. Now, as I was talking about the different homages and things like that, obviously the colors really do it. But there's also this little homage right here. You can open up the chest, and you got little places here where you can take Titan Master figures. Now, I'm not going to push them all the way in because it becomes a bit of a problem getting them out, and I'm just gonna kind of, well, if I can get them in there. I mean, you can, I don't know. Yeah, let's just take Trigger Happy's head off. You can do this. Now, the original was like a Headmaster / Power Master thing. This is weird, honestly. I don't know why you would want to do that. It's cool that you can do something like that, and obviously that's what it's meant for, is it's perfectly shaped for it. Maybe the Japanese one will have a little bit more involvement with it, but you do have those extra kind of nods like I was talking about. His gun, identical to Sky Shadow's, you just got the purple plastic. But for another comparison, again, I am really quite impressed with the differences here. Now, from the kind of thighs down, the figures are identical in terms of the molding. The only thing that's different is the paint. But on the lower section, as I was talking about, the only thing that really does change would be the little crotch piece right here. You have the wheels still there, but the shape and actual sculpting of the little crotch area is completely different. And then the entire upper torso on both of them is absolutely different. There is, from what I'm seeing, other than, like I said, the joints, I mean, like, these joints are identical to these. I would venture to say that maybe the little piece in here, these little joints in here are the exact same. Everything else is different. I'm so impressed with it, and it does give it a completely different look. Obviously, the way that the back is designed really helps to kind of facilitate that. But again, I'm just really blown away by the differences here. I mean, looking at the hands, I mean, even the hands are completely different. That's amazing work. Now, one thing that I do also want to touch on is I did read that he's a little bit shorter than like God Jinrai, which is really not the way that it should be. So some places, like, or some pictures have actually shown the transformation where it's like this, where you bring this down, and that makes him a little bit taller. I guess I can do a bit of a comparison here. While I don't have God Jinrai, you can see that it does make him a little bit taller just in general of a figure. So doing that allows you to kind of scale him better with God Jinrai, but I could care less. But gorgeous figure. Great detail with the new helmet. More paint applications than the stickers. You got a couple stickers down here on the shin, and then you got the Decepticon sticker right here. But everything else is just pretty much painted. You got some stickers for the wings and everything, but overall not bad really at all. For his articulation, the head will look left and right. It kind of wiggles up and down, but I think that's just, you know, meant, I don't think that's really, what is that doing actually? Is it meant to wiggle up and down? I don't know. It just kind of wiggles up and down. The shoulders rotate 360 degrees. They hinge in and out, rotates at the bicep. One thing I would say is these are a little bit loose, especially when you're transforming them. This one's pretty good. This one, you can see, kind of wants to fall out. So these are a little bit looser than I would like, but it's not terribly bad. He does have a hinge here forward and back at the elbow itself. I guess you could say the wrists moving it out. Nothing at the waist, unfortunately. That is all locked into place, but you got the hips that are on very nice, solid, I want to say, are those universals? I think those, or maybe those are just swivels right there. The swivel! Yeah, I know. They go in and out. They rotate or swivel right there. He bends here at the knee. He also can bend outward, so you can have him dance or something. I have no idea. Bends at the knee, then the ankles do move in and out, so you get a nice wide stance option with feet firmly planted on the ground, which looks really terrific. Not so much forward and back or anything, but you do get some toe movement, which all the articulation that this guy has is the same from Sky Shadow, so it doesn't really change very much. But really good looking figure. I do think that I prefer this one over Sky Shadow. I mean, well, like I said, I don't have an attachment to either character. I'm just going based on the aesthetic of them. What is that? That looks like it's separating. Just aesthetically, I think this guy looks cooler. And well, honestly, I think that if you're going to want Sky Shadow and Overlord, you're probably going to get them both. But if I were to just pick one, I'd probably go with this guy. I just think he looks cooler. Now, to transform him, you can just straight up pull them apart here at the legs. We can start here, just collapse these down. This transformation is the exact same as Sky Shadow, so nothing really too complicated with that. You know, rotate these pieces around thusly. Rotate that around and then bring it in like that. And then you just squeeze all this together. Just like that. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Bring in the cannon. Tank is done. For the jet, basically the exact same, although it is a little bit easier. You just tuck these in. You will then collapse these up. Give this section here a nice little push, locking that into place. Do that on this side as well. Bring this all the way in, locks that in. Fold out the little wings if you didn't. Come around here to the back. Oh, you take the head. Like I said, you don't have to remove this to transform them. Just spin that around and then bring this whole piece around like so. Fold this little section out. That's a little landing skid. And you just kind of push this now, and then you just play with these wings. Unfortunately, it does get a little bit kind of boring here in the back. There's not really anything that you can do to fancy that up. I don't know, maybe go like that, I guess. I don't know. I mean, it's not really I do think that Sky Shadow's jet mode looks a little bit better, especially here in the back. But there's that, and when you're done, that's all it takes. And then you have Overlord both in his jet and his tank mode. Overall, fun toys. As I said, this is obviously the intended purpose of the mold. Sky Shadow was that pre-tool, but both are still really good toys. I think if you're a fan of Masterforce, you're probably going to want to get both of them. But really, for me, while I don't have an attachment to either character, I do think that this one looks the coolest. The transformation is essentially the exact same. If anything, the jet mode here is a little bit more simple. And when I compared the jets between this and the Sky Shadow, I do like the Sky Shadow one a little bit more, both in terms of the look and then the transformation. The tank here is identical. I like it, so it is what it is. But I think where this figure really shines is how he looks in his robot mode. It just looks cool. And of course, we can't forget that he does have a city mode, which in the grand scheme of things, keeping both him and Sky Shadow in my collection, I would probably put this guy in his battle station or little city mode, if I were to display him in their alt forms. Either way, it's a really cool toy. We have had the discussion about, is this a parts former? When in reality the original one was. I don't necessarily think that the toy, replicating that is a bad thing. So I'm perfectly okay with it. But I really do like the guy and without question would recommend picking him up. And while I never really got into Massive Force, it's cool that they're giving us some really nice figures from that series, because I know that there are a lot of fans of it out there. So kudos to Hasbro for nodding those other lines. But all that being said, if Overlord is a figure that you'd like to add to your collection, he is available right now at various retail locations. Or as always, you can check out Big Bad Toy Store. So all you have to do for that is click on the link down in the video description. You'll go to BBTS where you can check out availability on this guy, as well as the rest of the wide range of Transformers Titans Return figures. But beyond that, guys, that's about it. So once again, I want to thank you for tuning in. This has been Optibotimus. Don't forget that if you like this video, to please hit that thumbs up button. It goes a long way towards helping me out, and I'd really appreciate it. Also, if you're new here, be sure to subscribe in case you haven't already subscribed. It's free, and you'll get instant email notifications whenever I upload a new video, and you'll never miss out on a future review of mine. Or hey, if you're already subscribed, now more than ever it's important to make sure that you're getting those email notifications. We all know just how unreliable the YouTube subscription box is, so to make sure that you're getting all of my reviews, click on that little bell right below this video, and double check your settings to make sure that they're set so that you get those email notifications. And as always, until next time, till all are one.